Welcome again to Marilyn Hawes and our week. And it started off with a bang. You're dashing off to GB News. We better give them a bit of a strap line shortly. But before that, of course, we'll do the real thing and get the real truth out there. Not that they disguise the truth. They're one of the few that you can actually say, oh, didn't know that. And it's not been fed to me and I'm not being brainwashed most of the time. And we're going to go all over the world today. We're going to start with Sweden. Now, Sweden has got some interesting statistics for us all based on 2024. Now, can I say right at the beginning, Sweden are lumbered with the ECHR, just as we are still, thanks to our politicians. Now, they took in 6,000 new residents last year after screening them in, let's call them camps. They were put in centres, like we do in the UK. 6,000 of them decided they wanted to stop and we want to keep you. Fine. 40,000 did that in the United Kingdom in the same period. It's madness. And what's more than madness is the 4-star hotels put in.
I mean, I'd love to stay in one.
Well, that's the whole thing. Look, if you 5-star hotel, no, forget, nobody can afford that except the super rich, the proper ones, I mean, the 5-star hotels. 4-star, if you want a special treat, you go into them. But let's assume you go into a 4-star hotel. Well, you don't expect free international phone calls, do you?
No, exactly.
You don't expect immediate medical attention, immediate dentistry, free clothing, and the hotel will give you a smartphone.
I know.
You couldn't write the script.
I know, it's crazy. I was thinking yesterday, actually, and I don't know what made me think about it, but my mind went back to when COVID started and they built these Nightingale hospitals. Do you remember?
Yes.
And they had those up and built in about a week. I do not understand why you couldn't go into a very isolated part of the country and build them so you don't have people complaining that, or they're in the hotel right by my street. Why can't they build them? There's plenty of space in the UK actually where they could build them and put them in there and have them guarded so they cannot come out, so they are assessed and processed within that detention centre, and either off you go, or we'll process you, but still off you go, sort of thing, or whatever. But I mean, I don't understand. Those hospitals were built very fast, and I suppose now they've been taken down. But I don't know why they can't do that. If it's so complicated,
they can.
Yeah,
they won't. And it's deliberate. This is what really is getting people.
Well, it is. It is. And when you think of the cost of these, like putting them up in these hotels, then that must outweigh the cost of building these Nightingale centres that they did have for the, as I say, for COVID. So I was just sort of thought about that at the weekend, and I thought this makes absolutely no sense, because that way, by keeping them detained like that and have it guarded and yet still do processing there and looking at whether you are, then most of them coming over are basically chances. They're economic migrants and they're chances that, you're not like, and also most of them are not fleeing a war zone because they've come through safe countries. They might be going out of a war zone when they come to the first safe country, but then they go on to another and another. Their desire is to get here because they know we're stupid.
There's a magazine, online magazine called The Conservative Woman. It's not big C conservative, it's small c. And absolutely recommended. There's some superb journalism there. And they got a writer this last week saying, and I think you've probably read this yourself, I am a preacher. And from the Christian point of view, the Archbishop of York is talking absolute nonsense.
Well, he should keep his nose out of politics. I mean, frankly, get on and choose I mean, goodness me, it took 2 weeks to appoint a pope, and we haven't had an archbishop in Canterbury for yonks. So, get on and go and sort the problems you've got within the Church of England.
Well,
Really.
exactly that. And he says, from the Christian point of view, from the Bible point of view, these people, as you said, are chancers and they're liars. Over 90% of them that are there as chancers and liars, they're
Because,
telling lies, and we've got to take them in because the Archbishop of York says,
but the thing is, if you were genuine, you would not throw your ID papers and your passport and your paperwork in the brink. You would want that here, us, to know that you are a qualified electrician or a qualified plumber or a person that can contribute to our country. You wouldn't throw the paperwork in the brink. You wouldn't do that. If you wanted to come here and be processed properly, you would keep those papers and your identity, in my view.
well, no, it's the majority view that, but we're not allowed to think that even in our country. But people are waking up and finding out the truth.
Oh
Hence,
yeah,
the
yeah,
pink ladies, the marches, and the sit-ins outside the hotels. It's
yeah,
getting through to Joe Public.
yeah.
Hooray!
Yeah, and it is getting worse and it's catching on. And, to do what he did, looking so triumphant that I mean, talk about a kangaroo court. I mean, those judges that went against the thing to actually remove them, that those judges, he cherry picked those.
Oh yes, it's clear for the
I mean,
bell.
he must think we're stupid. They were
Yeah.
cherry picked judges.
I mean, the guy, the judge that came out with this on television and spent most of his time correcting what the judgment was with his pen. I don't know if you noticed that,
No, I didn't know.
whether it was spelling mistakes, whatever it is. I mean, it was sort of on the back of a cigarette packet thing, and what that man has been so left-wing socialist
Yeah.
all his life, even leading
Yes.
lefty papers,
Yes.
etc.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, they've been chosen. They're part of the
I doubt he
proverbial
knew he was
flock.
going to get it overturned. And I mean, but what he doesn't, he's never gone down there to see these people in Epping. Neither has Yvette Cooper. These people that are going, they're just genuinely concerned for their kids. And that is not right wing and that is not racist. That is about safeguarding their families. And he's not gone down there to talk to them. Oh no, whenever the proverbial hits the fan, where's Keir Starmer on a plane somewhere else?
Yes, indeed. And Yvette is going to speak in Parliament this afternoon.
Oh, whoopee dee, I can't
And
wait.
it'll be more rearranging the deck chairs on the.
Absolutely. Absolutely. She is useless. She's absolutely useless. Well, they all are.
Well, there are some more equal or more useless than others, I think. Having said that, um, harking back just for a second on the Sweden bit, I've just been presented with some figures here that say actually people that are going to be sent back are given every opportunity to do so when they land, because somebody whispers in their ear, £26,000, go back, we'll give you that. And a lot of them say, wow, I like that. And they go, and you think, oh, you've gone a bit over the top there, Sweden. But if you analyze what it costs to get that person legal and his family and her family, etc., then it's far less than £26,000.
Yes. And are people actually accepting that? They actually
Yes,
are, they are
lots,
doing it.
lots and lots.
Oh, crikey. There must be a heck of a lot then, because there's plenty coming in.
Oh, yeah, they've got to take their quota under EU, but they decided now with EU laws to take the absolute minimum. Before it was, oh, we feel sorry for you, we are liberals.
But you see, the trouble is he looks so triumphant at the people being able to stay there, but he's not looking at the social unrest.
He will be very shortly because it'll overtake him if it hasn't already. The chances, even nearly 4 years off, of him winning the next
Oh,
election with his tribe are quite remote at the moment, unless Nigel does something absolutely stupid. Although, let me tell you that there is room for concern here. because Nigel, for the first time ever, you could see some cracks in his argument when suddenly send them all back became, oh, well, we can't do that with the children. We can't do that with the women. Well, that's open for debate, but the left-wing press and the liberal inverted commas press made that much of a fuss against Nigel. He thought, oh, I better say something. He's still thinking it through. Let's hope he's not a backer downer.
Well, it's going to be interesting what happens because the end of this week it's the conference, isn't it? Reform conference
in Birmingham.
Yes, be interesting to see what he comes out with there. It's going to be very interesting. But I mean, I don't know why the Archbishop of not Canterbury, what am I saying? Archbishop of York. I don't know why he trumped up like he did. I mean, as I say, get on with your own problems that you've got to sort out. There's plenty.
He's part of the progressive elite, and
yes, absolutely.
This is the real battle we've got.
Absolutely.
Now, something from the other side of the pond, which I've got to confess, it's been over this side of the pond, but not as much as it's over there now. Equity grading in schools. Have you come across that phrase?
No.
No, I hadn't actually.
What is it going to say?
What does it mean? Well, it means that progressiveness in schools has gone potty. And
I thought Trump had stopped all that.
Well, don't forget you've got the individual state with a lot of power in the United States. Nobody can fail. That's it summed up. More than half the schools are participating in this progressive science of school teaching. Most of the teachers, actually, to be fair on them, don't like it. Why? What does it mean? Well, it means unlimited retakes of exams. Oh, don't worry if you fail. We'll let you, this autumn you can retake it. So you can't fail eventually. No lateness penalties. Now, that's if you don't turn up to a lecture on time and you sort of say, oh, well, something's on Netflix, I won't watch that. Then there's the phrase no zeros. Well, you can't fail. That means you can't get 0 marks. You've got to get some marks, even if you don't turn up literally. No homework if you don't want to. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? And no required participation. Now, that means, in other words, that if you don't want to go into school because it's a Monday and you've got a headache and you feel mentally unwell, don't go into school. And it's big time. Now, where is it the biggest time? Well, it's in the woke areas, and there are lots of woke areas in America. It's not just California. So there you are. You're required to get minimum of 60% to pass an examination for your next grade in the US. You get 50 if you don't turn up even. It's automatically given to you. So what the smart students are doing is working for 1 term out of 3 and then forget it. They'll know that way they'll get their 60%. Good system if you're a smart child.
What on earth is going on? I'm really surprised. I'm really am surprised. It wouldn't surprise me so much about Canada because they're quite liberal, aren't they? But I am, how worrying.
It is, and this is nationwide. I've said certain states are worse than others. I remember in the 60s being at college. Was it the 60s? Oh, grief, there you go. Some time ago. This revolution was happening in our educational system. And I had an old school tutor for my tutorship, and he was brilliant. And before I left at the final parade where you're given everything and say, go and change the world, he put his arm around me and he said, you've been given education lessons in the new regime, freedom regime, child first regime, call it what you like, he said, but he says stick to old principles.
Yeah,
and how right he was.
It's true. It's true. I mean, what was it? What's that a system in
was it the Montessori system?
Montessori, that's it. I knew it had a M and a re. Montessori, that's the one. Yeah, similar thing. Very similar.
Yeah, and that's been going for.
And I don't buy into that at all.
No. Well, let's take things a little bit further, but on a completely different note. Everybody seems to be worried about their smartphones. Are they listening to me? Because sometimes, some people say often, if I'm talking to my mate and saying something about football and the latest kit, I'm inundated with Manchester United, Arsenal, Liverpool kits. And people have actually, lots of social media, beware, are saying they're listening to you.
Well, they must be, mustn't they? Because it's those algorithms, isn't it?
Well, it is, but it's algorithms of a different sort, actually.
Yes.
You, they're not listening. Uh, Bit of the old wives' tale here. What actually happens is that if you're interested in a new bed, as an example, you might put in your Google
Yeah. Search.
beds. That's how they get hold of you, which in
Yeah.
one sense is legitimate.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's your search history, isn't it?
yeah. So they're not actually listening to you.
No.
Don't panic yet. It will happen, I prophesy.
Yeah, but that is true. I mean, you look at your search history and that yeah, that is true. Because you see it's funny, isn't it? If you search for a holiday, you search for a flight, you get a certain price. And if you search again, it's gone up. And it keeps going up. If you, I don't know if you've ever done that, and you're searching for a holiday or searching for a flight, the cost goes up.
It can work in your to your advantage,
Yeah.
actual fact, because it can come down. If you fill in an order form, for instance, online, and
Yeah.
then don't press the go to basket or whatever it is, they suddenly get in touch with you. Oh, we have a special 5% offer or 10% offer. So you've got to play the game like they play the game. It's all part of the game. Right. And again, I'm going to be in trouble here. The Diana thing, GB News actually did a sort of tribute to Diana 28 years ago now. I don't know why. It's uh, it was a 30th or the 50th or after a year. But anyway, they did a tribute, and lots of memories came back because most people knew where they were.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I knew where I was, in the kitchen writing Christmas concerts before the start of term. And my twin son came in still in his pajamas telling me that Princess Diana had died. And I can remember saying, don't be ridiculous. And then spent the rest of the day in front of the TV.
Yeah, a terrible moment. But having said that, why resurrect this after 28 or whatever years?
Yeah,
It's a bit odd. But thinking about it now, she did make a difference to the monarchy in various ways, made it more open, for the lack of a
yeah.
better word. But the press led a lot of stuff then. And of course, the government, Tony Blair's lot. And it was a bit OTT, over the top, to say the least. Now, there were significant parts of that, of course, when the two sons walked behind.
Oh,
That was awful. Some people
dreadful.
said it's affected their
Dreadful.
lives, but maybe it has, I don't know. But it's a bit like a mawkish thing, if you wish.
Well, it is. I agree.
When a nation is going down, and again, it's classic, and boy, is our nation going down.
Yeah.
And we come back to things like this and go completely over the top about it. And why keep going and bringing it
I
up?
think it's because she was beautiful and a lot of people feel she was wronged,
Mm.
and all of that is probably true.
I'm going to be naughty now and get into trouble, but can you imagine that? And we all hope this, of course, she survived. Can you imagine her getting married to perhaps Dodie? Can you imagine the father's
Well,
mixed
that's the point,
back?
isn't it? I've always,
Yeah.
I know there are a lot of conspiracy theories, and I don't know. You're never going to know the truth, are you?
No, but it's interesting, isn't it? If
Oh, it is
what
interesting.
if?
I just feel so sorry for the fact that the boys are alive and seeing their mother paraded again in the media. I just, I don't know that who is it actually helping? I can't believe that it helps Prince Harry and William
No, indeed.
because or are they asked if they can talk about it? I really don't know. I don't see what it achieves, really. I don't, you know, no, I don't see the point. I really don't.
Right, I get your claws into this one then. Yes. Um, Again, sticking with education and achievement, the actual A-level results were down this year, about time. They're still too high. Out of it's come a number of things. First of all, that the people needing most help are not getting it. And
Yes.
who are they? They're the white, working class male in our schools in Great Britain. Interesting, especially in London. And it appears that for several years now, the people coming over from China and from India are way ahead.
Oh, they would be because those countries value education and the discipline is there. There's a loss of face if they don't survive. But also, though, like in China, the suicide rate is really high on teenagers who are so highly pressured to actually pass their exams. But they are. I mean, Asian Indians are naturally very bright people. The Chinese are very bright and they will outshine everybody else because they do actually value education.
Well, they got a thing called aspirations, haven't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, they do. I mean, and you think, well, you're talking about lower class or poor white boys. Well, I mean, I would have said that the African kids that are in poverty areas would be, I find it difficult that they would
Well,
outshine.
now you've mentioned that the important thing in all what we're saying at the moment is that the African guys have now actually overtaken the white guys.
Yeah, no, that is when I was teaching, I do remember we would have a laziness, Afro-Caribbean we found them particularly difficult to motivate, very chilled, lazy. Then you had the African kids who their parents were very much into uh physical, smacking and beating the devil out of them and that sort of thing. And um so you had troubles with that culture coming into the school. But the whole thing, though, it does get well. Again, you've got to go back to the parents, haven't you? Where are the parents getting these kids to school, not letting them, not letting them lay in bed all day, and motivating and getting them out, out to do work. I mean, I know what's it? Bridget Phillipson was on about the. She was on yesterday, I think it was, talking about schools and how many are not going to school. Well, I mean, that's to do with parents as well, isn't it? Who gets them out of bed and says, "Come on, you off you go." And how many just like, "Oh, I don't want to go to school today. Oh, what a shame, then don't go." Well, that's not acceptable. It's not acceptable. All this stuff. I mean, where is resilience? Where is, it, well, I've written an article, as you know, for an education magazine about this very thing, really, why I wouldn't be a teacher today. I just don't know I could cope with it because the general malaise and attitude from parents and kids alike. Of course, there are some very good parents out there, of course there are, but you've also got the others that it's somebody else's job. They don't have the same commitment and to I mean, we all have mental health, good or bad. Sometimes we feel low. Well, you'd be feeling much better if you got out and met people and committed yourself to something. As we said last week, do some volunteering, whatever. I mean, and I know some GPs now are saying join a park run. I mean, they're free. And there's a great movement across the whole of the UK that huge, been around for 20 years.
I'm going to go on from school to something allied, if you wish, and that's the dreaded vaccine for COVID. There's some unusual figures coming out, but we keep saying that as time passes, there will be truths coming out that we should have recognized, and some people indeed did when the pandemic was with us. But in various countries, not generally, but quite a number of countries, less babies were born by a third because of the vaccine. Now, they've isolated this because, of course, if you were caught in the pandemic, then you've probably put off having children because you didn't know what the future was like, etc., etc. But that doesn't take account of a 30% diminution of the number of children being born. And people are now sort of putting two and two together. Are they making four? Shortly we'll have the full results. But there's lots of things out of this vaccine that are not good. And we know it was an experimental vaccine. We know governments did deals with the big pharma saying, yeah, we'll cover your back. Panic, panic, get the vaccine out. If anything goes wrong, we'll stand. It's worthless, to be honest, because all they need to do is change the law so they can get out of that as a government. But it's interesting, isn't it, that we did things on the wild basis, whether we shut schools too early, should we have followed again, going back to Sweden, their model?
Well, the herd instinct, I always thought we should have done that. I mean, I still maintain that because of it's the hidden stuff that it created from it, isn't it? Lockdown, not meeting people, people not being able to say goodbye to their dying loved ones, and babies that were born, and babies that were born. I mean, I have a granddaughter that was born in COVID, and it was their first child, as it was for many people, and those new parents need support, and I just thought it was ridiculous that that people were kept away like that. And then when you put people from hospitals into care homes, and of course it ripped through care homes, and it is coming back again. I mean, it is on the rise again here, but it always will be. It's like flu, isn't it? You've got the virus in around, and it will at certain times in the year, it's going to spike again. It will. You're not going to get rid of it. I mean, I've always sort of thought, oh dear, shall I have it? Shan't I have it? And then but
there are alternatives, one has to say. Whether you regard them as acceptable, I don't know. But more and more doctors are saying, look, let's go down the route of prevention or making your body to cope with it rather than the vaccine that is just being doled out still these days. Of course, you've got to get pots of vitamin E, whether it's mainstream medicine or, if you like, supplement medicine. Everybody agrees on that one. There are certain things you can do.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, there are. There are. I mean, as I say, there's this sort of turmeric and stuff like that. Another one is mango. There's another, this plenish stuff is very good. And I just think if it's neat, if it's not been tainted with anything else, if it's the real deal and there's nothing like another substance in it, then I'm a great fan of homeopathy and natural stuff like that. I really am. Um, I think I think that it shouldn't be poo-pooed. It's a 5-year qualification to become a homeopathist, and I, I have been. It teaches the body to heal itself, doesn't it? You're not cured by the homeopathy stuff, but it's like alerts parts of your body to react differently, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yes.
Why wouldn't you try that? Why wouldn't you have acupuncture? Why wouldn't you have reflexology? Why not? It all goes back thousands of years from Chinese medicines, doesn't it?
Yeah, if it works, it works. But be careful. The ideal combination, of course, is go to a regular doctor
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
who also does the other stuff, and then that
Yes,
gives you a lot of
yes,
peace of mind.
yes.
Talking about peace of mind, Angela Rain has not got peace of mind at the moment.
Oh, God,
It
that
keeps
woman is
going on and
awful.
on, doesn't it? And you
She's
think
awful.
if this was the Tory party, well, it isn't the Tory party. Now we've got three-pad Angela, and something's going on here. Is it just simply a matter of champagne socialism, egalitarianism, call it what you like, which means everybody's equal, but some are more equal than others, 1984 and all that? Well, has she been sucked in to the blob and she likes the lifestyle? Oh, it's a bit nicer down south in Hove, next to Brighton, and it's an hour from my office by quick
She's
train.
a complete hypocrite. She's a total hypocrite. And the fact that I mean, she's just a ghastly woman. I just think she's outrageous. She is a hypocrite. She's housing minister and she's got a grace and favour place. And then, I mean, her constituents are, I mean, she should be living in her constituency. And to be able to sort of frig the £40,000 is appalling. She should be in front of a select committee, quite frankly. She she shouldn't be housing minister. Just she thinks she can slap these houses up when she wants, and then the rules for herself don't apply. And she's a hideous woman. She's absolutely hideous.
Let's go down into some truths behind this story. Number one, her where she's in Ashton-under-Lyne, in Greater Manchester, indeed. She's very unlikely to get back into that because of the Red Wall thing. It's very unlikely. But where she could do is that there's a new breed of pro-socialism going on in the richer South. And one of the areas, although the present incumbent, who is Labour, wouldn't be very pleased about this, it would be easy for her to have a pad already established in Hove and then take over the MP-ship of that region. So is this behind something?
Oh, that makes sense. That does make sense. Yes.
Yeah.
And she's devious enough to think she could do that.
Let me tell you something else as well, thinking on the same subject. Let's assume that the lady who goes into one of these cross-channel dinghies displays her tattoos and her smoking or piping.
Just gross. She's gross.
Looked like a steam train, actually, but there we go. And you think that could be the Prime Minister.
I think she is a shocking example. Well, no, actually, she is a perfect example of what Labour really is.
Interesting statement. I'll tell you why. There is now a theory that the Labour Party do not want her. That's why the story is keeping going on and on and on. Now, legally, she's all right. But who advises the minister?
But morally, she's wrong.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, morally, she's
legally,
wrong.
she's on. But who advises Angela? Well, I'll tell you, it's the blob. But it's the blob out of university that's got no mileage, freshers, as it were. And they're advising her. What a stupid advice that was. So there's lots going on behind this story.
Yeah, that does make absolute sense. That does make sense. But then you see, it's like everything else with Labour. It's all a lie. It's all a cover up, isn't it? You know, I just find them despicable. I just cannot get my head around 4 more years of this. I really can't.
Well, there's your choice, you see. You can either have the rotten Sir Keir or the rotten Angela. Now, wow. Can you?
Well, they haven't got anyone there, have they? I mean, I just think the whole thing that it's just that you see, they've only been in just over a year, and the chaos that they have created is just awful. And my fear is that they will change things, or Keir Starmer will just change things as he sees fit, and doesn't actually discuss it in the House. That will we be able to change stuff back? Will it have...
Can you imagine Angela going to meet von der Leyen in Brussels?
Awful.
Or any other?
She's just so
Have
skanky.
You got any other tattoos, love, like me? Have a look.
So skanky. She's revolting. She's revolting. I just cannot bear. I never could, and I thought she was only there because the unions would have wanted her there.
Well, what I seriously object to in all this is the fact that everybody's making a good thing about the fact she was a single parent mother, council house, all the ingredients, and Labour saved her. And look, she's got aspirations. Hasn't she done well? Well, it always rises to the surface, doesn't it?
She's done well on the backs of other people.
We move on quickly to more outrage. And that is simply, and it keeps coming up again, shoplifters. What is the point of being a good, nice person in the United Kingdom anymore? We see people walking and running in and out of shops and they don't get anything. They're not chased after Well, you dare, you might get a knife. And they get away with it. The police.
I know it's and what example is this all setting? I mean, we must be the laughing stock across Europe. We really are.
Never mind Europe, Marilyn. I've just been sent a note from the US, and in the humour, there's truth. They used to watch a lot of sci-fi fiction, and they don't watch it anymore because they get more than enough watching GB News, as they will do shortly, actually from America, and any news that comes out of Britain, because that's just as in the air and as scatty.
Well, my daughter from Bermuda has been over the last fortnight, and her husband is a partner in a law firm over there. And I can remember last year having a real strong conversation with them about migrants and stuff like that and the state of Britain. And it was all, oh, don't be ridiculous, don't be ridiculous. These people have come from, difficult countries. I said, you live, when you come over here, you live in Knightsbridge on the Brompton Road. That is not Britain. That's a select part of Britain. You don't know what it's really like. Anyway, this time when they came over, we asked him, so what do you think about it now? And he said, well, we have got friends that would move back here, but they're not going to while Labour are still in power. And then he was also going on, and I mean, it's the first conversation I've had that absolutely made some sense. And he was saying, like, I think Labour have got to be very, very careful that they could so quickly make a Liz Truss moment, and it could all be, disastrous. And he said the way, so many people, entrepreneurs have left. And you can't just keep raising taxes to fill your coffers. You've got to get investment. And right now, he said, the news on the block, because, I mean, Bermuda is very close to America, is that people don't want to invest. They don't want to invest. So it's the only way she's trying to get her money in the coffers is by taxing more and more. And he said some of his business friends and lawyers have said, well, they're going to wait for a change of government before they even consider coming back here, which is a great shame because these people have got money.
Indeed. And before finally leading the shoplifters saga,
It's
more
terrible.
people who you would never guess would ever say this are saying, get the boot camps in here.
Oh,
Get them in a
yes.
compound with a sergeant major and
Absolutely.
sort them out them
A-
that way.
Absolutely. I really do think they should bring back, if we've got this problem with having not enough military, they should bring back conscription.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, I suppose.
I think they should, because if
How-
we are struggling, if there's Putin now threatening to blow us up and everybody else, we don't have the massive army like America's got. We're very depleted. Then, and also some of those kids that are sort of scraping the barrel, if they went to a boot camp of some description, they might come up with some sort of motivation to do something.
Indeed. Right, I've got you now on this one. You're the expert. The US Open tennis. I don't know whether you saw this last week. It was on Match Point when the cameraman came in, a snap photographer, paparazzi type,
Uh-huh.
behind the server, and he disrupted the whole match. And there was mayhem. Now, we suffer from this quite often, or did, when we were filming, especially in big venues. And let me tell you, Nigel is suffering from this as well. It's strange. If you give a person, an amateur, a camera, they think it's like a press pass. They can do anything. They can appear suddenly in the middle of a tense tennis match on Match Point, indeed, causing chaos. You can't snap away doing that.
No,
We get it
no.
all the time filming in theatres. You get an amateur guy standing in front of the camera, and you're there thinking lovely thoughts of sweetness and light, and you're about to strangle him, and it doesn't go in, and they're a breed apart. But have you noticed in some of Nigel's presentations, you've got these stupid cameramen on stage taking pictures of the audience and the back of his head. That is fine if you want some after the occasion print, if you wish, and it looks good to see the audience clapping and standing up on your next poster. But it's crass and amateurish. And Nigel You need things polishing, we all know, and good luck to you what you're trying to do. But things like that, detail.
But that's right.
Oh,
It's the optic, as they call it, isn't it? And it doesn't look it doesn't look professional. But no, I mean also though, really, I mean with that like that tennis match, I mean that where is respect? I know I bang the drum on respect. Why did you think you could be entitled to do that? I mean, I mean, you can't get that point back, can you? If you lost that.
um, signs of the time. Even the traditional socialists who changed over time, people like Jack Straw, coming out and deciding, Labour, you've got it wrong. There's only
Yes,
one answer finally to this immigration saga. You've
yeah,
come out of ECHR.
yeah, won't make any difference.
No, it won't. That's exactly it.
He's too arrogant. He will not, it's the same thing that they could have kept with all that money. They could have kept the Rwanda deal, couldn't they? It was all set to go, good to go. They could have kept it as a deterrent and seen for 6 months if it worked or not. But
Yeah.
no, he had the arrogance. He didn't want anything that the Tories had done. And it took them long enough to do that. But all that money wasted and not even attempted to see if it could have worked because that wasn't his idea.
The big thing that gets a lot of people, and it comes out in all sorts of guises, is that the working man and woman. How do you define that? Labour. How
Well,
you can't
I
even
mean,
define.
exactly. If you go to work, you're a working man or woman or whatever, aren't you? If you're
Yeah,
going to
if
work,
you're a
you go
man,
to work.
define what a woman is before you start preaching at us about who's a work. A billionaire is a working man,
Of
and
course.
usually very hard-working man. We're all
Well,
work.
anybody that works and earns and is a working person. I suppose he's trying to take it down to social classes, isn't he? A working person. He'd be looking at like people that are dustmen and postmen and all those sort of like, sweeping the streets, that sort of thing. That's why he would think of as a working person. I
That's
mean,
right.
if we earn an income, we work.
For those people who were worried before Labour got in, it'll only go down the pan. They're
Yeah.
absolutely
I
right.
don't know how much
They
lower we can get.
they will only look after their own. How true they looked after the NHS, the
Mm.
doctors, the young doctors, the train drivers, any undeserving cause, dare I say, and they don't look after anybody else. In fact,
No,
they
they're not. I mean, it's
back.
patently obvious the way they've said, and oh my goodness, I can't believe Yvette Cooper when she said that migrants take precedent over us who
Yeah,
have worked here, lived here, born here, paid taxes here. The migrants take precedence. Like, outrageous, outrageous. I mean, this isn't just going to be the summer of discontent as today we've reached autumn. It's going to carry on. It is going to come. Aren't there 15 different councils or something out there that now want to challenge getting these people out of
and they
hotels?
still want to challenge even after the
Yeah,
diabolical court case.
yes.
Let me mention another group of people that they don't like, of course, because they don't get any votes from them. It's the Middle England, the farmers especially.
Oh, it's
What they've
disgusting.
done there with the inheritance tax onto many small businesses.
Absolutely dreadful what they did to the farmers.
Well,
And again, in their manifesto, they said, "You're safe with us."
indeed, well, that's the
You
farm.
know, they could just burn their manifesto. I mean, they haven't done a thing, not a thing that they said. And we always knew that's, those of us that know what Labour are like. Um,
Well, they've got at the farmers again, and one of the things they said pre-election, we will make sure 50% of our government purchases, schools as an example, civil service, who order food and basic anything from a spud to a cabbage for school meals, we will make sure at least 50% of the purchases um, will be from British farms. They've not even got 1%.
everything,
They've broken the promise. Now, this
exactly.
never appears, but it's appeared now.
Everything they have said, they've done the opposite or not at all. Everything. There's not one thing in over a year, what, 14 months now? There's not one thing that they've done that they said they would do. They either haven't done it or they've gone against what they said.
But that what they've done is to be very very using guile, let's put it that way, in lots of ways. We know that there's been several acts of parliament gone through, and it sounds good when you've got the Online Protection Act, which is so full of holes and not to be true. That's nothing about protecting our children. It may appear to be that way, but what it is controlling you.
Oh, yes.
Or are they using it to control?
Yes. Yes.
What
Yes.
Elon Musk says, they've had a real go at X on that. And they decided, various organizations now, that we want to fact check you. The government are fact checking things. No, I'm sorry. Have we got any freedom left? You
No.
begin to
I
wonder.
would love to know what Donald Trump, that I will never forget. There's Starmer standing there going on how they value free speech. Donald Trump must think what a prat Starmer is.
Yeah, but he's politically adept.
I mean, he must, and the migration stuff. I mean, he must be absolutely, just, well, I don't know. I mean, absolutely. I mean, he must be absolutely stunned that, because he made it quite clear about the type of people coming in when he was up in Scotland there, and he wasn't wrong. And you see it all happening. He must look and think, well, throw my hands up in horror.
Listen time's gone again. It always goes too quickly, but we got to mention two last items. One, both of which are extremely serious. It's come about that various local authorities, because it's the socialist end of the extremities. You've got to be measured before you die, because we want to find the correct size of grave. And if you are big and chunky, then you're taking up two spaces in our public cemeteries, and that's not on. We're going to charge you. So that's another death duty, isn't it?
But most people get cremated anyway, don't they know?
That's true. But lots of people don't. Certainly, the Roman Catholics don't like cremation. Many other people don't like cremation for various reasons. But you're not even free to die, are you? Let's stick to health. And we're talking about granola. Now, granola is not new. People think, oh, well, I must have granola. It's the thing. It's the modern thing. It was invented 150 years ago, would you believe? And not long after that, 20 years actually. Mr. Kellogg got hold of it and made it a bit nicer and marketed it. Now everybody thinks, oh, it's healthy. Well, let me tell you that it's probably one of the most unhealthy foods.
It is. It isn't healthy.
In certain guises.
It isn't healthy. When my daughter had her some of her intestine removed when she was in Singapore, and she used to put chia seeds and stuff like that all over her food and everything, poppy seeds, you name it, sunflower seeds, and it absolutely chocked up her intestine. And she was blue lighted into hospital. I was flown over to look after her to Singapore, and the consultant, and he was a senior consultant guy on intestines and renal stuff and all of that. And he said, we are not like birds. We are not meant to eat seeds. We cannot digest them. We can't bite them. We are not a bird that knows how to crunch seeds down. We don't have that. And so it just sits into the coils of our intestines. Very unhealthy. Very unhealthy.
It is. Well, let's see what in detail wrong. The main thing is sugar, another sweetie, because it's made from honey, which is very healthy. And it's made, this is the posh varieties usually, maple syrup, which is very healthy, but it's still a sugar. And it's dynamite honey. It's so good for you, yet can be so bad for you if you're a diabetic, for instance. The other thing is dried fruits. Now, dried fruits are good, but they contain a lot of sugar.
They contain a lot of sugar. Yeah, I like the sultanas, raisins, dried apricots. They're lovely, but there's a lot of sugar in them.
Well, there's been a survey because there are some granola, nice, crunchy and sweet, that you can get actually. One recommended, can I say, is Bio and Me. That is actually healthy.
I've not seen that one.
But no, I've not actually, but it's been apparently marketed in supermarkets. No doubt if it's got the word bio, you can multiply it by 2. Talking about price, or vegan, you can multiply it by 3. Not that the vegan diet is healthy. More of that in the future. But anyway, bio and me is the recommended one. Don't be tempted to go to Tesco's, etc. own brand. They are truly horrendous. They're made with cheap things like palm oil and all sorts of sugars in there. And out of the stars, bio gets 5, and Tesco and other brands, homemade brands, get literally none or 1.
I don't know why people don't read the back. I always read the back of what I'm buying. I always do. What's the ingredient? I always look at the sugar and salt content. And people don't. It's like yogurt. If you get fat-free yogurt, it's got more sugar in it than 5%.
They know how to market. Talking about yogurt, one helpful thing is to get some nice original Greek yogurt.
Oh, that it has to be. It cannot be. It has to be the actual thing.
Exactly.
Not Greek style yogurt. It has to actually be from Greece, 100%. Really good for you.
Slap that on top of your granola from a decent, reputable company. Then you might have something that is neutral.
Or have it on top of porridge.
For you, or have some porridge. That's an important point, because granola in the old days used to be made out of wheat. A lot of allergies around wheat, inflammation causing.
Yeah.
Actually now made out of oats. But with all the other baddies in it, be careful. And that goes down to these health bars as well.
Oh, they are shocking.
Some of them are truly shocking. So that's your health tidied up, your political health and other healths, the real health. And there is hope, people. Don't give up. Get on the street and behave yourself, but have no mess.
Yeah, but as I say, if good men do nothing, bad things happen.
Exactly that. Well, thank you.
No, thank you.
Hopefully it's given people some thoughts. Food for thought, this program should be called.
Thank you, and see you again soon.
Bye.